There is just no way you're going to tell me that if you don't want SBMM, what you're actually trying to say is that you want bot lobbies. Like, you idiots just really don't get what you're asking for. The average player is not complaining about SBMM like you are. And if they are, their issue is entirely different. This anti-SBMM skill-based matchmaking sentiment is literally coming from the top 10% of players and creators who know live games. They are the ones complaining. My name is Flame070, the normal gamer, breaking down gaming from the average perspective. So why is everyone so pressed about skill-based matchmaking? To be honest, it seems like a really silly thing, but are there merits to some of their complaints? Let's see. Old games did not have skill-based matchmaking. Well, that is simply not true. Skill-based matchmaking has existed in some form since the early 2000s, confirmed by older devs who worked on those titles, Halo 2, Halo 3, and Call of Duty since the Modern Warfare entries. All these games you bring up had skill-based matchmaking. Skill-based matchmaking makes good players feel punished. That's 100% right. Yep. The goal of skill-based matchmaking is to make it fair for the player to have success in their lobby. Whether they actually win is besides the point, but the player fights their skill level to have a challenging match period most of their sessions. Random matchmaking feels so much better. That's what I want. No, it doesn't. Well, not how you expect it would or does. You're correct simply because of math. Like I said, for the most part, it's the dickheads who are relatively really good at the game are the ones complaining loudly. Like, look at this Twitter thing that I just saw who someone was complaining to Hutch. Like, I can't believe this person actually tweeted that. Let's do some simple math. Looking at the rank curves and dev blogs about where players sit in terms of skill, let's say 60% are average. Not great, not terrible. If they solo, they are decent, and if you get a group of them together, you may find some challenge in that collective. That leaves 40% of the other players. Let's generously give 20% to the best of the best, the demons. That leaves 20% are bots and new players. Mathematically, in a random selection, how the fuck you think it's going to go for the people who are the most vocal right now? For them to get a challenge, that's 20% chance of that happening. There's an 80% chance that most likely that player is either going to have an average player or a bot in their lobby. You're going to get it easy most of the time. That is what you're asking. And that is why we call bullshit on, oh, we just want to, go hard sometimes, soft sometimes. Like, no, mathematically, if you go with that approach, that will not happen. You're not going to get a challenge very often. You'll get maybe one game that's a challenge. Inversely, guess what would happen to the other players in your lobbies? They have an 80% chance of getting players who they're not supposed to be fighting against. And yeah, just like you, they'll have that one or two games where the game will feel good. But chances are those lower skill players, those new players will rage quit before that happens. So let's just keep it simple. 10 players are needed for a lobby. Math-wise, what am I discussing? You get a 6 out of 10 chance for an average player, 2 out of 10 chance for a demon, and 2 out of 10 chance for a bot. Look on screen right now. I know class A's usually help the lower impaired in these cases. Let's use a random number generator. 1 and 2 are bots. Any number between 3 and 8 are average players, and 9 and 10 are demons. Let's see how this goes. This is just a simple example, but exactly what I'm talking about when these demons or pro people or high-end players are complaining. Look at the lobbies you'll potentially get in this approach. Where the fuck is the challenge? I would imagine a lobby in this scenario would be at least 5 demons. but you're barely getting that. It's going to take a bit, of course. I'm not saying it's impossible. Only the average players will probably experience that up and down that you're talking about. And the bots, well, they're getting royally screwed most of the time. Skill-based matchmaking has one goal: to make fair matches. It's about player retention, and they have data on this, and they have explained this multiple times. So this is typically more scripted. I'm trying a different approach here, more ranty. So if you do kind of like these kind of off-the-cuff videos, hit that like button. Definitely leave your disagreement comment down below. And do the thing that allows you to get more videos, because I release videos daily. Much appreciated. Look forward to the hate comments down below. So if you're watching that little demonstration, you may be thinking, just add some restrictions then. And then I would say, bitch, that is the point of skill-based matchmaking. That is skill-based matchmaking, you twat. No, it's not good players that just complain. Bad players and average players complain too, right? No, what they complain about is totally different. Well, kind of. What makes skill-based matchmaking tick is the buckets players are grouped in. Take, for example, this blog from Apex when they were talking about their matchmaking system. They said that there was a bucket structure in the past before the major changes. Do you see the 4 buckets thing? Do you not see the problem here? With the 4 buckets, that means essentially once you moved on to the other bucket, you were potentially way outclassed. That is why you saw, for the most part, if you did decent in Apex, you would automatically go from maybe a plat player and then fighting plat people to fighting predators and masters all the goddamn time. With my stats, that's exactly what was going on. I was in that last bucket, but just barely. So being in the bottom of a bucket distribution and having the rule sets be like, all right, this is where your lobbies have to come from, is going to make it really hard. It's just like the numbers game I explained. I get mathematically screwed. You can improve this by adding more buckets or whatever Apex is doing. I'm really not too sure how to explain that in a timely manner, but check out the blog post if you really want to know. But understand that those tweaks or adding more buckets and assessing players more accurately, the trade-off is time. And you all already bitch about queue times, so they have to make adjustments pretty cautiously. Average players should have the least to complain if the skill system is accurate, because that group has the most players where the system can fairly create something worth playing. The issues arise if the system is loose and puts you in really high tier lobbies even though you don't belong. This also doesn't even factor in party size, time of day, region. All this stuff matters when making lobbies. An average player like myself would be fine in either approach. Honestly, only us really get that process of sometimes a challenge, sometimes easy. Top demons will never really get that. On screen, you have been seeing the random generator test effect, and I've been kind of playing that throughout the video just so you guys can kind of get an idea of how that would work and who it actually benefits. But to cap off this rant, skill-based matchmaking is needed. It can be tweaked, of course, and I get the argument from the top players. It's hard to just always constantly fight like on 100%, and the game devs should do something, whether allow them to toggle it off for a bit, maybe, or have modes where it's just completely random. But this idea of pub should be casual because there's ranked is really stupid, because ranked players are not majority of the players. And again, super simplified, but if Apex Legends has 10 million players, and Apex Legends status, the biggest repertoire of rank tracking, roughly only tracks 3 million players who are actively playing, that means 3% are rank grinders. Super simple, I get it, I know, but I stand by the point because it's still on track. Most people are not playing ranked, and rank isn't a big motivator to all players. So if you're playing pubs, they need to be retained in some way. Now, because a game has shit progression and that's why you play ranked, that's an entirely different story. Leave your disagreement comments down below, and if you're interested in this scrub talking about how kill grinding goes in the next video, make sure to do the thing. My name is Flame078, the normal gamer. Until next time, adios.